I don't know how you like to watch your young adult movies, but for me, it's scrolling Twitter at the same time and seeing Elon Musk Nazi salute at the inauguration. And then
while I consider which faction I would be put into.
Yes, and then jump back to Tris diving off the train.
Oh my god, so real. When you're like, what's more dystopian? The YA book written in 2010 or my real life right now?
Yeah, my literal timeline that I'm actively going through.
Oh my god.
Hi, hello. How are you?
Hi, what's up? Welcome to the swamp. It's a podcast. It's our podcast. Mm-hmm. It's an acronym.
It stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting. Happy to be your distraction from whatever the fuck is going on in the world right now. I would just like to start off at the top of the episode to say that it is okay to punch Nazis. So.
Oh, yeah. More than punch, if you feel so inclined. Yeah, actually wild times we're living in right now. Divergent.
Well, that's
really important stuff going on here, all right? We gotta get into FourTris, okay?
Uh-huh. Oh, my God.
We got to get into being the chosen one. Mm-hmm. We got to get into corrupt government systems that are evil for what reason? We can't.
We're not really sure.
It's just that they would destroy everything.
Of course.
Did you actually know? So to jump into this, hi, this is The Swamp. We already introduced that. We just talk about a movie every week. It's chill. Yeah. It's cash. And as we clarified, we usually don't get too serious on here, but it is just like hard to not talk about shit that is like so scary and happening right now.
The world at hand.
But we're doing January, we're doing all young adult shit this month, and we decided we're like, let's take a little crack at Divergent. Because what was your relationship with this growing up at all? Because we were the ripe age. We were the target demo. They had a picture of my face up in the board game, and they said, how do we ride the coattails of the Hunger Games? How do we get this girl interested?
Uh-huh. Obviously Hot Boy trilogy had to be a trilogy, of course. Right. I read the books. I don't know about you.
I read the first book. I maybe read the second one and don't have a great memory of it. And I certainly did not read the third. I was very much a woman of the people in which if everyone was like, this is ass, I'm like, okay, then I'm not going to bother.
Yeah.
Like, I felt that way about the third Maze Runner book as well, if you recall. A lot of like YA dystopian trilogies kind of ended up falling off at the end a little bit. And I just took Tumblr's word of like, if the girlies on Tumblr weren't into it, I just moved on. I have no qualms with leaving a trilogy unfinished, with leaving like a book series. Sure. If I'm not into it, I'm dropping it. I don't have the mental space to be reading shit that I'm not into. Especially, I felt that way in middle school too. I was like, there's too much to get to here.
Fair enough.
Keep it moving. But
we were very oversaturated at a certain point.
Well, yes, this I think was like literally pitched as like a, hey, you know that Hunger Games thing that all the girlies loved? We should probably just do that again, right? Just for like money. And everyone was like, yeah, so real. So real.
This one very much reminds me that YA writing can be bad too. Well, yes. And most of it is pretty bad. Yeah, because I mean, we've talked about it at length. I was a big Hunger Games girl, so obviously, I'm going to jump onto this, see what takes. I don't remember a whole lot of it, so watching this incredibly was pretty fresh.
Unmemorable. It basically is just like they got ChatGPT to write what they predicted would be like the next big thing without actually filling in any details of like intrigue or character
why things are happening,
or even a baseline explanation for like why the bad guys are bad and why the good guys are good, other than just like bad guys equal government equal want to control, good guys equals rebels equals hot equals daring.
And that was
okay. I can hop on that board, at the beginning, but at some point you are going to have to explain to me, like, why I should care. And specifically with this fucking romance, man. I'm a romance hater. But I feel like I just have high standards because I'll recognize a good love triangle, a good love subplot when I see one. Sure. I just don't see them. They're just not frequent. And this one, I remember the girlies like really being into FourTris and the whole like he's kind of mean to her, but she kind of goes toe to toe with him. But we don't see that because I remember from the books kind of being into it. And then I remember in the movies thinking, oh, they just like took away any personality or agency that Tris had as a character. So you don't ever get a reason as to like why Four would be into her. Like, she's his student and his subordinate, and she just has kind of no personality other than that she's like the chosen one.
Basically.
But like, what? There's nothing there.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think it's just that this was, you're 12 years old and understanding dominant, submissive dynamics.
For the first time.
Yeah. Like, I don't, like, again, you're right. There's nothing there. She's a nothing character. Like, at least, and I mean, this whole episode is just going to be us comparing it back to the Hunger Games. But like, again, Katniss is a written character.
Right, no, she has flaws. No, Katniss has her flaws, and she has her bonds, and she has the things about her that make her integral, and she's also like sort of a complicated, maybe unreliable narrator that we get from Katniss. I just think to compare
an unwilling narrator too.
Oh, just like the writing quality between we got to eat with the Hunger Games, and this was just like a sad afterthought of just like a tumbleweed that blew through, trying to ride off of that gust of wind that was Suzanne Collins, and they said, let's try our hand at this. Well, and who wrote these? Veronica Roth, you tried. And
she got that bag. She got that bag.
So I can't blame her for that. But it's almost, I feel I haven't read these books, but they're called Fourth Wing. And they're not young adult, but they're like for women who really liked young adult or like fantasy kind of, I don't know. It's like it's a romantasy. It's dragons. They're very popular right now. Very of the, A Court of Roses universe, the Fourth Wing. And I know the third Fourth Wing book of the trilogy, ? Is it the last one? I don't know enough about this to speak on it. I should. I work at a library. But the sort of dynamic, I think, between Four and Tris is maybe something that was improved upon a little bit, more of the enemies to lovers, or like not rivals quite, but that sort of tension that I think this movie wanted to have, or these books wanted to have, that they just sort of failed with. I do think people say that the two characters in the Fourth Wing series have that. So I feel like that could be a successful replacement in the current canon for like what people who are looking for that romantic relationship part of the story. I do think that people who are into Fourth Wing would say that is like the better version of, or like a more evolved, more developed version of this, because I feel like we get the beginnings of something that could be cool and interesting, but it just like neither of them really like, oh, his dad abused him, so he defected from abnegation to become, but he's also divergent, but he's not as divergent as Tris. Don't get it twisted.
I think he's more divergent. I think it's like, because I read the whole books, I think he's like super on it. Like, I think he's got some of everything, but I can't remember. I think maybe she's got some of everything, which is also the whoever the fuck. And I mean, there's so much to talk about here. Whoever the fuck decided that, yes, this is how we're going to lead our society, is we're going to break everyone up into one character quality that you guys have. Girl, what?
And your options are that you can be smart and you can wear blue. You can be a kind farmer and you can wear orange. You can tell the truth all the time and wear black and white and work in the justice system. I guess also that you could be the cops and you can wear black, or you can be a simple government state employee and you can wear gray, and you can only eat unseasoned foods and not look in the mirror.
Yeah, so
a neutral. That's
obviously we're gonna be farmers, right?
I feel like, so looking at this whole system, the Divergent system, for those who are not familiar, is this dystopian futuristic version of Chicago, weird choice. But it's supposed to be Chicago, and they build this wall, as they always do in fantasy shit. They built a big wall to keep stuff out, and they say that there was a war, and that everything outside of the wall has been destroyed from the war, so don't even worry about it. Obviously, something that we're gonna try to re-pull up in book 3 or something, I'm sure, when they're like, oh, we need to leave the wall. We need to find other cities that aren't Chicago. Okay.
I wish I could remember what the fuck happened in this series now.
I do think that they do find like a similar District 13 situation. They find people who live outside the wall and they go to them, and it's like basically a kind of 1-for-1 beat thing. But again, I can't really speak on it as I was. Isn't it
like a community of factionless or some shit like that? I can't remember.
Right, which not even to get into the anti-homelessness rhetoric in this movie about how being factionless and living on the street is literally the equivalent to death. What?
Yeah, you ought to kill yourself. You ought to kill yourself, basically, is what they're saying.
And the boring faction, it's their job to feed the homeless. That's their one job. So that they like run the government and they feed the homeless and they are lame. Oh my god. Can you where I just like that whole the dealing of that whole I do understand that later in the series they kind of get around to the whole factionlessness of it all, but it just that part is like, we did not need to be doing all that. And the part where they're like, yeah, and if you don't pass the test, you get kicked out and you're factionless and you can never go home to your parents. Who designed this system? Who set this up?
I guess Kate Winslet. I don't know.
But not even, because she's just the head of the Blue Smarties.
Yeah, she's not even the Blue Smarties.
The Blue Smarties want to overturn the Grey Normies, and that's where the big conflict is going, is that the Smart tribe, I guess the Smart tribe thinks that the simple government tribe is not doing
that it's corrupt. That it's corrupt, too.
Because
which they don't even they don't even tell us. Yeah.
They're like, what's his name? Marcus? They're like, the leader, Marcus, for his dad, he hit his kids. So there's no way he can effectively run the government.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Who runs our country? Jeez.
We literally have a rapist in chief, so.
Kate Winslet could be a step up from what we have.
Honestly, I'd take it. I'd take it. You know, I mean, there's already a genocide going on that we funded, so.
Right, yeah, literally. I mean, who's writing? Somebody who's more in with what's going on. Can you hit me up on, like, what is the current young adult series that is, like, indoctrinating the youth into, like, anti-fascism? Because we need that, right? Like, are they? I know they're still up on the Hunger Games. As a library employee, I do know that the kids are still up on the Hunger Games, which is great. And it is.
Like, fucking God.
We live in Massachusetts, but it was taught in our school. Like, we read the Hunger Games in school, and they still read the Hunger Games in the middle school that we went to.
As they should.
Now. So but I wonder, are there like what's like the new YA shit that's setting up some sort of like
I think we need government. I don't know. It's like the same thing as like, you know, the metric of like, oh, we're definitely in a recession because Selena Gomez is popping off right now or something. It's very much the same thing of, we need a new big like YA series.
Right, to get the youths interested in, like, revolution rather than in, like, Nazism. Like, it's
yes!
Right. But so I feel like the whole system here is that the alternate universe in these Divergent books is that there are these 5 systems, and they set this up basically to be, like, the 5 main character traits. And I do believe, if I'm not wrong, the overarching thing that gets revealed later in the series is that it was like a breeding experiment, that if you categorize people by their best quality, but then you do give them the option to defact to the quality that they believe is more of themselves, that eventually you then will breed out to create these divergent people who are of the best of all of them, and that's why they're trying to like get them or something. I don't really know. That's my like vague understanding of like why they split them up in the first place or something, or like what the goal was or whatever.
Yeah.
But basically you get to, when you're 16, you get to go up, you take a little test, they knock you out, they run you through some scenarios that say, are you smart, kind, truthful, brave, or simple, basically. And they're like, we're just going to figure that shit out for you. We'll tell you. But the test doesn't really matter because you still get to do whatever you want. When you're 16, you can still join whatever faction. But if you pick a different one from your parents, you can never go home and you can never see them again.
Yeah, that's nuts. Girl, we all live in Chicago. Why can't I go hang out and have lunch?
Right, so weird. And Tris does like leave Dauntless to go visit her brother. And it is like saying like, hey, like everyone is like, why did you do that? That wasn't chill. But she did like, there's no borders or anything. She went and saw him and she, so what are we talking about here as far as like, you can't go see them? It seems like why? You can go see them. It seems
what is
like.
They say faction over blood all the time or something, which again is just fucking weird. But I feel like
if we did the test, the test, but you got to pick, I feel like there's like some pretty obvious answers here because you either have to be a professional at parkour and willing to be a cop to be in Dauntless. So as fun as they seem, absolutely the fuck not. I'm not running.
I also don't want to be dangled over a ledge. I'm good. I'm comfy cozy. I'm gonna go farm.
And then candor sounds like ass as well because you have to be a lawyer. That's basically, they're like, okay, then these guys are the lawyers. No, thank you. Yeah. And they're so truthful. So it's like, you're going to tear me to bits. No, thank you. I like a little light lying in my day.
Yeah, come on. Right? A little white lie.
And then the Smarties is basically just like you go to college.
I'm just not, Well, you have to
some research. Which is
you
fine.
go to work in an Apple store.
But yeah, literally, and you like have to be elitist about like intelligence, which is like kind of whack. Or I feel like the two then outstanding choices that remain are either Amity, which are the kind farmers. I can't be working on a farm. I like to stay inside. So maybe I can like project manage the farm or something.
I think they have I feel like they have what's it called? Not the big fields, but like hydroponic farming.
Right, like propagating leaves or something.
I think we can get you on the ground floor like there.
Sure. So that one seems kind of chill. I feel like they go there in the second movie, and it also reinforces how chill it is.
Yes, Miss Octavia Spencer is there.
Right, of course. And then the other option is just abnegation, where you just have to eat unseasoned food. And
I'm good on that.
Work at a soup kitchen, I guess.
Sorry, I want to be with the nice farmers. What are you picking?
I feel like nice farmers. There's the only
like normal
choice. Maybe I'll go to college and pick the Smarties, but I feel like they bully me for asking questions.
Yeah, they might.
And again, I feel like the truth-telling one is like, it doesn't seem as awful, but still not my vibe. But I feel like I remember this is I feel like, I don't know if it's supposed to be indicative of this process, but it is very comparable, I guess, to the young adult reader of like what the college application process feels like. And it's very much like we took this test and you're supposed to tell me what I'm supposed to do based on this test. But the real thing is like, you can do whatever you want and we can't stop you, but there is a right thing to do, but we won't overtly tell you what that right thing is. We'll only infer it. And then we'll get mad with you if you do a different thing. But then you're locked into that choice and you can't undo it. And it's just like very, very exact. And I think they kind of hit the nail on the head with that. Yeah. And as much as the overthrowing a fascist government is a good subplot for your YA dystopian book, don't get me wrong, that's like the whole fucking point. Yeah, I feel like they were trying to tackle that and they didn't have a clear vision, whereas I feel like this being a story for young kids to realize like about that decision-making process, there was like a nugget of something here.
Yes, which I think couldn't pin it down, but I agree with you there. There's something good.
Right, or just like something true and relatable to a young person about this choosing process and the finality of that.
It's just there's so much shit piled on top of it.
Right, that just like doesn't really make a lot of sense. That I'm like, I don't know, if we like, let's take a few steps back here and rework this. Because I do think there's something worth saying about, and she's there and she's like, wait, what do you mean now I can't go back? Or what do you mean now I could get cut? Like those kind of questions. I thought that is where the intrigue level could have lied with this, more about like putting that decision on young people. Someone needs like, when the whole society is decided by what 16-year-olds get to decide. Like there's a grain of truth in that to us now, right? So let's. Yeah, no. That was a part of this that I thought had something going for it.
Someone needs to deconstruct Divergent and rework it. I agree with you there.
But I feel like the like elephant in the room that we would be remiss if we did not address is just like the entire casting of this movie is a little bananas.
It's kind of fucking stacked.
It is so 2014. Like, they knew what they were doing here because Shailene Woodley as our zero personality protagonist.
Perfect.
Kind of hits. Fault in Our Stars has not come out yet, so she's not on that, but they're like filming at the same time, or it's been announced or something. But no. This one came out and then The Fault in Our Stars, and that's why her hair is short in the second movie. It's because she cut it for The Fault in Our Stars, and then instead of giving her a wig, they're like, Trish just has short hair now. That's fine. People cut their hair, which is like fine, but it also is just like, are you not just directly being like, this is the girl from that other movie you guys all liked? Here she is then, sort of situation without like actually changing anything. But so Shailene Woodley sits at our core.
Of course.
And we have love interest from The Fault in Our Stars, Ansel Elgort, now playing her mother.
Yes. It is interesting, but on top of that, you also have one Mr. Miles Teller, who also played her lover in The Spectacular Now.
And was he who impregnated her on The Secret Life of the American Teenager?
Not Miles Teller, no one famous.
Let me look this up.
It's the kid that does the cartwheel after Sean Johnson says that.
Right. Yep. No, it's not. Why did I feel like that was also Miles Teller? No, that's also all the fucking white men in this movie
they all look
exactly like each other.
Except they did
two friends from these other.
Oh my god, the way that
Will, his name is Will and something else. They just look the fucking same, and I'm like, how am I even supposed to know who's who?
They both end up dead too, so who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Literally,
yeah, but still.
Jumps off the cliff because he got caught. He literally is like that guy who got caught with his pants down in the drive.
Yes!
And then
oh my god.
Himself. Like, she caught him trying to get her ass. He says, forgive me. And she says, no, get away from me. Then he kills himself. And you're kind of like, good.
Yeah.
Honestly,
am I supposed to be sad? Yeah, no. This movie does give that good message that, Tris, that's not your fault. That's not your fault.
And if that guy wants to kill himself, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, while, yes, all of the white men do look the same in this movie, they did make sure to get Theo James, who is a step or two above, maybe three, honestly, the rest of them.
A certified hottie. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, him taking off his shirt and showing her his tattoos, that'd work for me. That would work on me. Yeah.
No, they're so ugly.
They're so ugly. No, he can raw.
No. Honestly, no man that hot could have that tattoo and have it not just be like a neutralizer. Like, really beautiful people with really ugly fucking tattoos. All
the Harry Potter tattoos. Oh my god,
Literally, he's a 10, but he has a Deathly Hallows tattoo. Straight to jail.
Yeah. Yeah, Zoe Kravitz too in this with that fuck ass bob.
Oh my god, they said this is fictional Chicago, and there's one black person here, and it's Zoe Kravitz. Literally. They said this is fictional futuristic Chicago. Only skinny white people live here, and I guess we'll invite Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, no, they're also skinny because of that slow jogging that they do everywhere.
Oh my god,
they have to slow jog.
So real, no one is disabled because we cut them out and sent them to pasture.
Yes.
You get cut from the fucking group if you can't do a pull-up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we leave you to be unhoused, which is the worst thing you can be. And for some reason, the unhoused people can't, like, form their own community. They have to be fed by the government. Like,
yeah, right? Strange. Also,
Theo James is hot. You are correct that he is hot, but the ugly tattoo and the writing of this movie are both so bad that I remember as a young susceptible woman to the wiles of a hot man, this did not do it for me.
It didn't do it for me either.
I was not captured as a young woman, and now as an adult, I'm just sort of like, yeah, whatever. Like, this really.
Yeah. It was. I don't know. Did we already talk about the fact that this movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes?
For what reason?
How long did they need to show me them training? First of all, for what?
Training.
For what?
Spelled TRAIN because they're jumping on and off trains, bitch. That's all they seem to do around here.
Apparently.
Like, hey. And those guys, they're the cops. They only hop on trains that are already moving. She says, Kate Winslet says at one point, she's like, I'll call you a car. And Tris is like, no, we're actually mandated to parkour across the city.
Yeah, sorry.
Where we go. Sorry, I have to jump rooftop to rooftop. It's kind of
my thing. Yeah.
Part of the deal.
Don't worry about it, guys.
Chocolate or vanilla with Jen. Do-do-do. We're trying out theme songs now, or maybe not. Hi, Jen, you're here to do your interim podcast segment, Chocolate or Vanilla. You're going to say two things. We're all just going to say which one we like better. I want to ask you if there's a theme, but I also want to sort of give you the stage for a second because you were a Divergent girly back in the day.
I was. I loved that series. Me and all of your friends. I feel like Divergent was one that the moms didn't read except for me. Like the moms read Twilight. The moms read Hunger Games. Yep. But the moms did not read Divergent as much.
They didn't get that niche for that.
They definitely did not read I Am Number 4. So these were...
Yeah, which is...
You know what? I thought, like, I was almost going to do a YA theme because I was like, I loved YA. But I looked up a bunch of them and I didn't read as many as I thought.
What is the theme of Chocolate or Vanilla this week?
Okay, you guys, when I see a star-studded cast, I have to just do this, them, and this, or something else.
Great. Of course.
Chocolate or Vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. Shailene Woodley in this, or as Jane in Big Little Lies?
Oh, Big Little Lies. She's like nothing special in that, and she is also amongst a star-studded cast that sort of outperforms her, but she did not piss me off as much as I thought she was going to when I started that show. I was like, I'm going to be pissed off by Shailene Woodley, and then like she's actually kind of fine, so I will pick her in that.
Yeah, she was like truly just a victim in that show. So, like, you can't really hate her. Yeah, I'll pick her in Big Little Lies as well.
Wow, I'm gonna pick her as Tris. I thought she killed it. I should have said chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry. By the way,
strawberry. Just because it's coming late.
Yeah, I like that. I'll go strawberry too.
Yeah, okay, strawberry for the late sweep. Next one, Theo James. The handsomest man to ever walk the universe.
I'll give you that one. He really is pretty.
Or as Cameron in The White Lotus, or as Eddie in the Netflix show The Gentleman.
So wait, say that again. Him in this, him in White Lotus, okay, which I have not seen, but Emily, you can speak on that. And then the Netflix show, what?
The Gentleman.
The Gentleman. What is that about?
It's about a guy who inherits his dad's estate and turns out to be a pot farm.
Oh, okay. I'll pick that one.
It's actually, it's really good. He's really good.
Yeah. It's good. You would recommend? You've watched it?
And the girl from Maze Runner is also in it, speaking of YA stars.
Oh, work. Okay.
Kyla.
She's from Skins. She's one of the Skins industry plants.
Of course. I'll go for the pot farm one. I like him in The White Lotus, and I think he was really good. His character just sucks, so
I'll go with The Gentleman also. Miles Teller in this, or as Willard in the 2011 remake of Footloose.
Oh my god.
Because I was like going through my head and I was like, okay, if she says Whiplash, like that's an obvious one. If she says like, you know, any of the movies
I thought she'd go Spectacular Now.
Like looping in the network of
Jen,
the coworkers.
You really went for a sleeper here.
A deep cut Miles Teller, or like maybe a Top Gun moment, you know. How he's kind of on the up and up.
Yeah.
I'll pick it because I guess he kind of tones it down in the book. That guy was like literally like in like bullying is not a
like harassing
category.
Yeah.
He was like literally like a violent individual who was constantly like, I'm gonna kill you. So in this, he kind of toned it down and was just more like, hey, stiff, I'm kind of a bully, which I'm like, no, take it there. Be violent and scary. So I'm going to say his performance in Footloose, which I'm sure was flawless.
Yeah, I'll go for the Footloose too. He really hammed it up. He was like a country bumpkin.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Footloose also. Next one is Ansel. I know he's canceled, but
canceled Elgort.
Cancel Elgort. Or is Caleb in this, or as Theo Decker in Goldfinch?
Oh, the Goldfinch movie was stupid.
It was really disappointing. I know. Like, amazing book, awful movie.
But also was just kind of like, that didn't need to be a movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, some things are fine as books, and that's okay. But I remember really liking, what's his name from the Stranger Things? Finn Wolfhard.
Finn, yeah.
Finn Wolfhard was in that movie, and I remember being pleasantly surprised by his performance as at that time. I'm sure I had not seen him in anything outside of Stranger Things, but I'll say his performance, I guess, in this, because he's hardly even in this, and he sort of is just like, I'm a traitor, and it's like, okay, good, stay in your lane, you know? Yeah. Caleb.
I guess I'll go for this as well, just because I haven't seen The Goldfinch. I tried reading it, and I didn't even get past, like, the big start point, really, very much.
Doesn't it open with an art museum getting bombed?
Well, yeah, I didn't want to say that in case people wanted to read it.
But I just remember people being like, yeah, it's kind of slow to start. And I'm like, it starts with a bombing. What are you talking about? Like,
no, I got past that. But it's like immediately after the bombing, it kind of like,
Sure.
Like, I did not like the writing style. It was very slow and methodical.
It's very dense. It's a fat book as well.
Yeah, it's fucking thick.
I'm not trying to shame you for not finishing The Goldfinch, Emily. I'm saying this on public record, okay? I didn't finish it either.
I guess I'll go with you guys. I'll go with him as Caleb. And then I want to change my answer. I can't believe I didn't pick Theo James as 4. Like, yeah.
That's your man, dude.
Next one is Kate Winslet. In this or in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
Oh, definitely in Eternal Sunshine. Yeah. She definitely... That's like, she crushes that. And in this, she's sort of just like, I'm the head bitch in charge, and I'm so smart. And that's it. And she gets her hand stabbed. Like, okay.
Yeah, she really Steve Jobs'd it. I'll go for her and Eternal Sunshine for sure.
Yeah, me too. Next one, Zoe Kravitz. In this or in X-Men First Class?
I haven't seen X-Men, but I'll pick her in that because I bet she gets like a little bit better of a role in that, because this is just kind of there's not a lot here for her.
I wouldn't say that particularly, Dara, that it's a better role. She looks hotter though, so I guess that's something. I'd say they're about even.
Who is she in X-Men?
Oh, I don't even know. She's not Storm. She's like she's
Angel?
Yeah, she has like some angel wings or some shit. But she immediately like turns bad, I think. I can't remember. She does not play an integral part though, that's for sure. She probably is more centered in this.
I'll take her in this though. I love a BFF. Next one is Ashley Judd as Triss's mom, or as Matthew McConaughey's wife in A Time to Kill.
Oh my god. Wait, is A Time to Kill where they're all sweaty in the courthouse?
Yes.
But isn't he in love with Sandra Bullock in that movie?
Oh no, she's just a lawyer. He's really in love with his wife, who is sweaty at the picnic potluck.
Oh. It's been a minute since I watched A Time to Kill.
What is this movie?
It's the sweatiest movie anyone has ever made.
It sounds familiar. I feel like
It's John Grisham.
It's a John Grisham novel. Okay. It's just like a courthouse drama about
Kiefer, Samuel Jackson. But since it's down south, they're all sweaty all the time.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll pick her in this because she's kind of a badass. She's like, yeah, here's my secret is I know how to use a gun, and then she immediately gets shot. Iconic.
She was the only character that I did find myself liking though, so I will choose her in this.
I know, don't you hate it when you read a book or watch a movie and you're like, man, I just don't like anybody?
Yeah, these performances were not what I had in my mind's eye.
Yeah. I love a flawed character, but sometimes I'm like, I need to like somebody. Next one is Maggie Q as Tori in this, or as Agent Hannah Wells in Designated Survivor.
Oh my god, Jen, what are you talking about? Designated Survivor is a show that was made for people way out of my demographic. I'm so sorry. I
watched the pilot.
They put
she
him
was
in a
very
bunker.
good in it, though.
They put him in a bunker. Okay. Yeah. Who was she in that? She was
like a FBI agent who protected the president.
Who is she in this?
The tattoo artist.
The tattoo artist.
Oh, she rocked in this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
she
pick
was
her
also
in this.
very hot in this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick her in this.
Yeah, I'll pick her in this too, but you should watch Designated Survivor because she was really good in that too.
Okay, I'm sold.
This one is, if I pronounce his name right, McKay Pfeiffer as Max in this, or as Odin James in Othello. In O. I'm sorry. The movie O, which is a teen remake of Othello.
Roll back. Who is he in Divergent? Who is this character? Was he just one of the friends, one of the guys? The smart boy?
He's like one of the trainer guys. He's Max. He's
Max, right. The guy whose name should have been like Blade. They should have had cooler fucking names. You're telling me that this is a dystopian future and their names are fucking Max and Christina? No. You should be like, I'm fucking Blade.
Yeah, really.
I'll pick him in this, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'll go this.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with that's another. It's a pretty good movie. Last one. Tony Goldwyn as the dad in this, or as the voice of Tarzan in Disney's Tarzan.
He's the voice of Tarzan? Did he do the singing
Stop
as well?
It.
I believe he did not do the singing.
Okay, it's one of those.
Wait, Tarzan didn't sing.
Oh, wait, that's so true. Phil Collins sings. Damn. Wait, oh my God.
This is not High School Musical.
Oh my God.
No, just like the spirit of Phil Collins just channeled through Tarzan. Oh my God, of course I'm going to pick him as Tarzan.
Yeah, Tarzan, for sure. Easily.
Yeah, Tarzan, and that is it for the star-studded cast. I think a few of these guys, like, their face maybe more than their name, probably, but yeah.
Right.
Girls, while I have you here and while we're recording, can we talk Oscar noms dropping tomorrow?
Yes. So, is the Brutalist going to get
disqualified?
DQ'd because of the AI?
I don't think.
I don't know. I don't think DQ'd, but I think it makes it a lot harder to give him the award.
I think it, definitely negates actor.
Yeah.
Because he did such a great job with that Hungarian accent. Oh, wait, no, he didn't.
But I also, the cutting of the musical numbers as well. Jen's disappointed. Emily's pretty up on it. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm like, maybe have whoever wins goes. That's my solution. Is that they announce the winner and then the winner gets to go up there and perform their thing. That's my solution.
What are they trying to do though? They're trying to cut the time. It's a show that happens once a year. I don't care if it runs over. I don't care if it runs past midnight. I want to see the musical numbers. Like, I am super disappointed. I'm like borderline boycott disappointed.
Oh no!
Damn.
Yeah. I won't do it, but
I'll
threaten to do it.
Because here's the thing: is they used to do a fashion show. They used to do a fashion show in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, where they would bring out all the costumes and do like a quick. It was a quick, maybe like 3-minute fashion show of like a handful of the movies, of course. And it was gorgeous. Like, I think something like that, and it takes less time. Get that. If that's what they're aiming for. If they're not gonna give us something, at least like replace it with something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But maybe a replacement would have softened the blow for me, but
I personally think that a lot of the music that's up for awards is kind of bad. So I'm not mad about it because I sit through shit.
It depends on the year.
It depends on the year for sure, but I sit through every year at least 3 pretty mid to bad performances, which I guess is like the time to go refill your wine, but
real.
I'm like, it just
I agree with you that they need to pad it with something, because if it's just like we're cutting them so that speeches and banter can be longer, I am not here for that. Run a tight ship, okay? Run a tight ship.
I'll tell you what,
but give me other stuff.
Give me more Conan at least. If you're gonna do it, sure. I want a full 30-minute set from Conan O'Brien.
Has anybody ever been nominated for actor in 2 different movies?
Yes. Somebody asked me this the other day, and I've confirmed you can. So Timmy would not be the first if he got double noms in the same category. That is not unknown to happen. It's more.
Do you think he will?
It more often happens in the supporting categories, as you would imagine. 2 supporting performances getting in the same, but it wouldn't. I do not think he'll get to. I don't think Dune. I don't think he'll get one for Dune. Yeah. I think he'll just get the Bob Dylan, and I don't think he'll win.
Has anyone seen that yet? Jen, did you see?
The Bob
No,
Dylan?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, he was good, but it was just like not that good of a movie. It was just like fine. It's just a stupid biopic. I'm over it.
I saw a tweet that said it seemed like they just wanted to really make a Pete Seeger movie instead. Like all the cool like plot was all about Pete Seeger.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I kind of inherently hate the biopics now. I'm like, there's nothing you can do to salvage that genre for me. But anyways, I feel like we'll definitely do a full episode on the Oscars, maybe like a pre and a post or during, but definitely if you guys love Oscar talk, send us questions or comments or what you think about the nomination. Jen, goodbye. We will see you next week. We love you and adios.
I love you guys. Have an awesome night.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Also, what the fuck was the budget for this movie? Because like, I couldn't imagine, like, how much they spent on making fake Chicago. But at the same time, I'm like, you guys are wearing, like, some of the worst costuming I've ever seen in my life. It's, like, the Target t-shirts that's so thin, I can feel it. Like,
the styling in this movie is
bad,
criminal. So I just looked it up. It had an $85 million US budget, which I think a lot of that probably went to computer graphics and shit to make their fucking fake city. But it grossed $288.9 million.
Sure.
So it made back its budget tenfold.
Yeah.
And I think they notably used even more computer graphics on movie 2, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, the movie series never got finished, right? I think Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant.
Not the cover of it literally being them doing parkour down a wall, literally scaling a wall.
Real. It's giving, do you remember Catch That Kid, starring Kristen Stewart and Corbin Bleu and that other guy? And it was a Disney Channel original movie about a love triangle of spies.
I don't think I do.
Oh my god, that was a kind of fire one.
Bill Skarsgård is in it? No!
Like, no, my god.
Sure. I don't know. Looks like they got more black people in the last movie, though, so hey.
Well, they went out to the farms where Octavia Spencer is. Yeah, literally.
So no.
Yeah, once they link up with the farmers, then we can finally get some more people of color in the mix.
Again, it's giving what is it? District 11, the grain, right? The grain district.
Oh no, not so problematic.
Sorry, we're getting off this movie, this fuck ass movie. Like, what are they training for? What are they training for?
Battle, war, conflict. General, that sort of vibe. Yeah, the whole, and like when Kate Winslet, who's the head of the government, she keeps being like, the Divergents could destroy everything. I'm like, what do you mean destroy? Destroy how? But can you be more specific? Or like, they pose a threat to our, system and our way of life. And I'm like, I kind of get that, but can you please be more specific? Like, they want to round up the Divergents and execute them, ? Or like put them in a camp or something. They want to get the Divergents, and the whole thing is that Tris is Divergent. Her test results are inconclusive, and she clearly just displays this elite power to harness all the factions or something. They keep saying...
It's called having empathy, and like...
They keep talking about like how special she is and how unique she is because of this thing, but she never actually really does anything to prove that, other than that when they go into these fear simulations.
Yeah, the breaking of the glass or whatever.
She can lucid dream in the way that while she's in the simulation, she like recognizes that it's not real, and she can be like, well, the mud's not real, it's a simulation, and then the mud like isn't real, and she can move on. And that is a product of her being Divergent. So then 4 has to be like, I have to train you to solve these like Dauntless would, so that when everyone gets to watch at your final fucking SAT presentation or whatever, like everyone gets to watch your deepest fears on a TV screen and watch as you figure them out. And so she has to like do it performatively so they don't catch her.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's a lot. The addition of what is it? First of all, the fact that you have to do this with like your fears on a screen, fucked up. The quick input of Four trying to rape her.
Right. Oh my god.
Crazy. Also, what was like that? Yeah, what was like the this is so like anti-sex propaganda almost. Do you know what I mean? It felt very pointed that they were like, Tris was like, no, I want to wait. Right. I want to wait. It just felt very, and obviously, like, I'm not sitting there saying like, oh yes, everything needs to be so like sexual and everything. Like, no,
but it is sexual. But it's a sexual.
Yeah,
movie.
It was sexual. Yeah, and it was strangely put there. I'm like, you could have just had them kiss, and that could have been that. Like, there didn't need to be a conversation about going further. So it was some weird like, I don't know.
I interpret that as like, in the books, she's 16 and he's 18, and she joins Dauntless, and he is like, he just finished at the top of his class, and they wanted him to go work at the government. They wanted a 17-year-old to go work at the government because he was so good. But then like he decided to just but he's supposed to only be like 2 years older than her in the way that they're both like in like college, like early college version, right? Whereas
that's your college boyfriend.
But by making the casting choices that they did, I think that obviously really changes things. And I think that they sort of vaguely implied that she was 18 and that he's 24, which again, I'm like, that's not a 24-year-old. That's a 35-year-old man. That's a
literally
grown ass man. And so then I think implying this like much more of a difference in their power dynamic, right? Because if he was 18, she was 16, he was like the top of the class. She's still, you know, they still have that there, but it's a little closer. Whereas it's like, he's this jacked, clearly the guy in charge, 35-year-old leader, and she is like the bottom of the totem pole. That is a way bigger gap to fill. And so I feel like that whole power dynamic thing, when it does then come to their relationship, which just pops up out of nowhere, she's just sort of like, he realizes that she's divergent, and then he kind of reveals like, hey, me too, I have this huge back piece actually, like, hey babe, you know that medical condition that you just told me about that you have? That's crazy. I already have a whole back piece about finding the cure. Like, what the hell? But he, you know, he's special too. They're both so special. They're both so special, so they have to be together. And so that's where I then feel like it's Theo James putting his huge fucking hand on her head, and it's just like, there's just this obvious, like I said, like power imbalance, power dynamic that I do think having the address of like, things are about to get hot and heavy, but in the context of the film, they're still supposed to be like, not kids, but like very much young adults.
Yeah, young adults.
I almost feel like adding that to be like the like make up for the fact, right, that he does hold way more power over her in the movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
Than in the books, I guess, for her to be
fair
like,
enough.
Hey, let's put the ball in my court.
Hey, slow down. Yeah.
Let's do one good thing for women in this movie. Or this, series, because literally the whole plot.
He kicks her ass like 20 minutes later. Literally.
Miles Teller kicks her ass.
No, when they get him like all like simulated up, like he literally.
Well.
He's tossing that bitch around in the bedroom like WWE, dog. Basically,
they like, because of the training simulations that the Dauntless do to like overcome their fears, they've been using the training simulations as like mind control, or Erudite has, or whoever big evil entity that's in charge has been like using it for mind control. So there's this big moment where like he's holding the gun to Triss's head, and she like says that she loves him to break him out of the mind spell. First of all, not how that works. Like, does not seem like that is a mechanic that would even be feasible here.
No.
And second of all, I feel like that makes the whole plot of it is like, she realizes that his dad hit him, and she's like cures his trauma for him or whatever, and that's what like breaks him free. And at the very end, he's like, I love you too, and they're on the train together. So it's like, okay, so it was like her job to cure his trauma and put up with him being a fucking dick to her the whole movie, and then her just being like, I love you.
Yeah, girl, no. Stand up. Tris, stand up.
Pissed.
No, it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. I wish Tris and Zoe Kravitz got together. That would have made more sense to me.
Christina? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, can we just talk about the fact that Tris changed her name to Tris?
Beatrice?
Girl, I would... Anything else. Tris, anything else.
Honestly, I kind of have respect for people who go with really like unexpected nicknames that do still connect to their name. So like a Tris of a Beatrice, I'm not as mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Like if your name is Christian and you go by Ian, that's hilarious. Instead of Chris, you're like, no, my name's Christian, but I go by Ian. Like, you would expect, like Beatrice, you'd expect a B, but no, I'm going Tris.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm not mad.
Fair enough. I don't know. I just think it's a ugly name.
It's not a great name. It is not a great name.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, what? I don't even know.
Hey, pick one. You only get to choose once.
You only get to choose once. I did find myself at one point wishing that Tris forgot to pull the brake when she was...
And she fucking splatted and died. Oh my god, they're like, this
she
idiot.
Sucks so bad, dude. Oh.
But the way that they had it set up that she like, that the brake was so far back and she's like extending her whole arm backwards to try to grab it at one point and she can't.
Yeah.
They need to just move that thing up a little.
Just move it up. Just move it up. That's just poor design. But I'm
like 5'5". Like her wingspan is not going to be able to get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They gotta have the... If you're under 5'5", you get cut from Dauntless. Sorry. You're unfactioned now.
Yeah, literally.
Get to the streets.
A part of me wants to watch the second movie to like understand better, but you couldn't pay me.
Literally, no. Because it's 3 hours. Like
absolutely it is. I will say that Ellie Goulding needle drop felt so good.
Oh no, I thought that the songs in this movie were ass.
Oh, they're horrible. It's very 2014.
Yeah, of course. Even I remember even at the time being like, this holds not a candle to what we've come to expect because the Twilight soundtracks, rip. The Hunger Games soundtracks, rip.
That's true. That is true. Interesting. This is the longest movie out of all of them. The other two are just right at like 2 hours, basically. Suki Waterhouse is in it. Yep.
Oh, don't remember that.
Uh-huh.
But so this thing that they do basically is that they like shoot some sort of serum or whatever into their fucking necks.
Stupid.
And they pass out. And it's initially presented as being this like training module to overcome your fears. So the serum will produce a simulated environment in which you have to face your fear and then overcome it, and that's how you do it or whatever. But everyone goes through the same stuff because they're all talking about it afterwards and they're like, how did you deal with the mud? How did you deal with the birds? So it's like everyone has the same fears. So it's not a simulation based on your personal fears. It's a simulation based on generic fears because or is everyone in this fucking group afraid of mud?
Or did they start it like everyone gets the same bog standard one to begin?
It figures it out or something, because when Tris goes into Four's mind to learn how he runs it, it starts off on a big height and she's like, oh, heights, haha, like you're afraid of heights. Mine doesn't start off on heights. So maybe it's like they have like a standard, like a set of, 100 fears and you get the top, I don't know how this system works, but I was...
Well, they don't explain a lot.
I was like, well, what would my fears be? And then I'm like, well, if it's just like from the list of what they have to choose from, then like, I guess like birds and mud could be scary if you're putting me in that scenario. But I'm like, what would mine is that I'm like late to work. They put you in a simulation, you're late to work. Hey, it's your fifth day in a row being late to work. Oh my god. How would I deal with it? That's why I could never be Dauntless, because how would I deal with it?
I don't know. Girl, I'm going to the farm. They can put me out to pasture. I don't care.
I'm not fighting. I'm not flighting. Bitch, I'm freezing. Okay? I'm freezing in the simulation. They're putting me up there on blast. They're projecting my fears onto the IMAX screen. And they're saying, you've been late for work again. And everyone's standing there pointing and laughing. And I go, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, unfortunately, I do think mine, I mean, pretty bog standard. I would be like a Heights bitch too. But like, car crash.
Oh my god, car crash simulation, just like over and over and over. Or no, mine is just that I have to take my driving test again.
Oh,
they're like parallel
God.
park. Gun to my head, they're like parallel park.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Put out a grease fire.
Also, don't you think that they would, in their fancy little thing, like code out sexual assault for the thing that gets broadcast? Because wouldn't everyone or a good percentage of the population have that one in there?
Yeah, you would think.
Maybe we can write that one out for the sake of this SAT. Like,
yeah,
what the hell?
I don't know, man. It's like, I'm sure we'll learn some weird shit about it, or we would. We'll learn some weird shit about it in movie 2. That gets even more niche and specific. But like, oh shit, I gotta plug my computer in.
Okay, stop.
Sorry.
Emily's landlord is de-icing, so if you hear clunking,
some scraping and scratching.
But honestly, if I made a verbal apology for every time there was like excess noise in this podcast, then the whole podcast would just be me apologizing for my cats and the highway I live next to and the train outside your apartment. And honestly, hit up the link to our Patreon so that we can get a studio. If maybe 10,000 of you,
wouldn't that be nice?
If 10,000 people start listening to this podcast and then all decide to give me $2, then maybe we could get a studio where we could sit and record and have good audio. But yeah. I'm sorry, that just isn't my life right now.
Yeah. Give us a couple more years to really grow things.
Couple more years.
More years. Shall we get into the regularly scheduled programming?
Well, yes. So I feel like fuck, marry, kill. These are adults.
These are adults.
I am not entertaining the fact that anyone in this movie is a child. That is just not. That's not the case. I feel like we'll do FourTris and then like who's our third person? Like
Christina?
Is it Christina? Is it Miles Teller? Is it her brother?
I'd say Christina, I guess.
Dead mom, dead dad.
Oh my god, they become orphans so fast.
So fast. Her mom is like, I used to be dauntless. Okay, and you defected to abnegation? Interesting choice, my
girl.
Honestly, respect though. She's like, I'm tired of running. I'm gonna go work an office job.
Yeah, fair enough.
Realistically, my test would have told me that I'm abnegation. And to be frank, I think if I was in that scenario and I was at least like decently comfortable, I would just stay in whichever one I was in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Defecting seems awful. Like that seems like
just I don't want to learn. I don't want to learn the new stuff. I like being comfortable too much.
It's like we grew up in Massachusetts, which has a lot of fairly reputable public universities. Mm-hmm. And it's like when one of your homies in high school would be like, yeah, I'm going to go to the University of Nebraska. You're like, why? We have 10 colleges in our state that are better than any of the ones in Nebraska. Why are you going to Nebraska? Like, that's literally Ansel Elgort defecting to the smart tribe. He's like, I keep calling them tribes because I'm thinking about Survivor.
Oh, fair enough.
It's like, I'm going to go be on the smart one. That's like literally when your homie's like, yeah, I need to go study bioengineering in Alaska. And you're like, I don't see why that needs to happen. But you do you, Caleb.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Fuck, marry, kill. I'm killing Tris easily.
Oh, wait, but who's our third one? Zoe Kravitz?
Christina, I think. Yeah, sure. I'd say so.
Yeah, so you're gonna kill Tris. That's fair.
Kill Tris, because she's nothing.
Yeah.
I'll marry Christina. I'm gonna marry Four because I like his apartment. And
real.
I'm gonna marry Four because I like his apartment, and I think we'll keep out of each other's hair, and we can have like hate sex, and that'll be fine.
I'm gonna be mean back to him. In the book, I recall was that she like kind of dished it back to him a little bit, and they just made Shailene Woodley was just such this like doe-eyed, like passive. Kind of like she's not scared, but she is just like kind of empty, and it's almost like she makes decisions by just not making them.
She brought a lot of
She lets stuff happen to her, and it's like, okay, but I'm like, you have no agency. Like,
she brought a lot of Secret Life of the American Teenager to this role. Very much that. Like, again, not making any decisions, but by not making a decision, making a decision.
And, like, we can't do enemies to lovers if it's just that he's an asshole to her and she's obsessed with him. Like, that's not how that works. It has to be...
No, we need some tension. We need something for, like, for someone to go and write the most amazing and disgusting fan fiction.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, some sophomore in high school just really putting in hundreds of thousands of work on Wattpad for all of us. Like,
yeah, literally. What you know, it's gonna be good. I saw someone tweeted this, but when the writer was like, said something like, "Oh, this isn't my native language. I just got out of cancer therapy. Like, my dog just died." Like,
so sorry for spelling errors. Like, yeah, you know, this is about to be the greatest American novel.
Literally, yeah. Like, more effort put in than actually, like, was writing the book. But I'm gonna fuck Christina, obviously.
I'm gonna disagree with you, and I'm gonna marry Christina because me and Zoe Kravitz, we can kind of figure this shit out together. Okay, we can become factionless or something. We can figure it out.
If she can learn to lie to me, to white lie to me,
right,
then fine, I would consider it. But the fact that she doesn't lie at all, it's a little much.
It's genetic, though. It's just it's her origins. She can't help herself.
I need something softer.
But, so you're going to go with 4? Absolutely not. That's why I'm just going to have sex with him and I'm going to leave because that is too much. That is too heavy. I'm not trying to do all that.
Fair enough.
I'll just have sex with him. I'll marry Christina. I'm killing Tris.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. for getting ridden to death so that you don't have to see that fuck-ass tattoo.
Oh, yeah, for real. No, I mean,
keep that shit hidden.
In what scenario do you really ever have to, like, see a man's back, really? Like, that can
not really
be avoided.
I mean, like, unless you're having, like, active sex and he's, like, going to get...
some giving back shots. Like, but I don't want to see that tattoo. Like, I do not want to see that tattoo. I'm sorry, it's ugly. I don't want to see Tris's ugly fucking tattoo either.
Oh, my God. Very Katy Perry of her, you know?
Name one tattoo in this movie that doesn't suck. Honestly, the guy who trains him, who's kind of mean, whatever.
I like Jai Courtney's eyebrow piercing. That's not an eyebrow piercing.
Mm-hmm.
That one. That's not a tattoo, though.
He has, like, neck tattoos. He's got some, like...
Yeah.
That kind of works for him. It's kind of working for him specifically.
Yeah, specifically.
I'll fuck him. He needed to blow off some steam. That guy wasn't asshole.
Yeah.
He needed to, not me fixing men's problems for them, but I'm like, he needed to chill out or something.
Yeah. He needed some sex and 4 just needed, like, cigarettes. He gave me the idea. He gave me the feeling that I'm like, that man needs to take a smoke.
No, he's behaving like someone who just quit cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like...
Also
and
true.
Is taking it seriously for the first time, and it's not going well.
It's not. Yeah. A whole movie. I'm fucking Tris's mom. I'm marrying her. Actually, mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind just being in their throuple.
She showed up. She used a gun, and then she died. She showed up and said, "I'm your mom. You thought I was boring, but it turns out I can fight." And then she dies.
She does. Maybe I'll marry her. I think I'll actually marry Tris's mom. I will kill Miles Teller because he's the worst in this movie. Right. And then I'm gonna fuck... I'll fuck 4 still, actually.
Yeah, fair. He is, like, the hottest person in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. You have the floor.
I think I changed my mind. I'm gonna kill the guy who was doing the training. Other than... Fair. 4, the guy with the neck tattoos, who needs, like, he just needs a warm cup of tea or something. No, I'm going to kick him off. While we're jumping on the train, I'm going to, like, grab his hand and be like, I got you. And then I'm going to let go. I'm going to teach him a lesson or something.
I like that.
And then I'm going to I'll kill Ansel Elgort, because when she went to visit him, and he's like, no, erudite is elite.
They would never do that.
They would never do that. I'm like, I'm Tris, and I just pull out my fucking Glock 40.
Literally.
And I cap his ass, and I say, well, I'm dauntless now, bitch. Where's that brain now? On the fucking pavement.
Yeah, show me. Groceries, I'm not on the pavement. Oh my God.
And then I will also just have sex with 4, I guess.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me wind back. Kate Winslet.
No,
I did forget about her. She's evil, but what if we? I mean, if we went baby girl on it,
right? Sure.
Yeah, I feel like we could really. I mean, I think we could have saved a lot of lives if we just made her freak it.
Watching Kate Winslet in this movie is like the purest form of proof that this writing is so bad. Yeah, because even she is not really pulling it off. Like, even she is not making this work.
She gave it her best go.
No, and it was, like, fine. Like, it wasn't, like, distractingly bad. It was like, damn, even Kate Winslet really is not. This material is not working for any of us.
Yeah.
PU. Actually, they'd be like, I would take the test, and they'd be like, you're not smart, kind, truthful, brave, or simple. You're stinky. We're sending you to the stinky faction, where all the little smellies go.
Girl, that's the homeless. That's how they treat them. That's how they treat the poor factionless.
My test results would say factionless. I feel like how the feeling of taking a BuzzFeed quiz in 9th grade and asking it what faction you are and it telling you you're factionless.
Fuck.
KMS.
Yeah.
You know that there's BuzzFeed quizzes out there that have that as an option. I bet my life on it.
You're absolutely.
If you built that, you're sick. If you designed that, you're sick. You're ruining it. In 2014, you were really putting some kids down.
Yeah, that's like how on the Wii they had you like thinking you were obese. Yeah. You're like, oh wow, so I'm
codon.
Yeah, oh wow, so I'm unlovable. Great.
Wii Fit said I'm obese, and BuzzFeed said I'm factionless.
I should probably kill myself.
But those are the only people who get chosen to be the chosen ones.
Well,
if you're nothing special at all, actually, that's
the whole thing.
Who get chosen. But so you're hosting your little YA book to movie adaptation party. That doesn't have to be the theme, but you're watching Divergent, certainly. What are you watching next?
I want something fun with actual young people and a good movie. And I think that a good movie that I've seen with young people is Talk to Me. I think that was really fun. And it's got some weird, horror aspects. I mean, it's a horror movie, but like it's got some weird what is it, celestial, like what do you call it, ghost, like there's a better word that I'm trying to think of,
like paranormal.
Thank you but it's got some fun paranormal things that also don't get explained like so much of this movie.
That one came out like not that long ago, right? Like last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was last summer. I didn't see
that one. I typically, the A24 like horror movie cohort as of late, like Heretic and all the, I don't know, just all of them seem like really similar to me as I see them. Last night, not to side tangent, last night I went and I saw the new Keke Palmer and SZA
how was it?
Comedy. It was funny. It was like as expected. Yeah. Like the trailer made me laugh and the movie made me laugh. Like it was good.
Sure.
But all of the previews were all for horror movies, which I understand that's like pretty popular now, but I'm like, this is a comedy. Like they just don't make enough comedies to fill the trailer spots like with other comedies. So it was like mostly all horror movies. And I was just sort of like, these are borderline indistinguishable from each other at this point.
Yeah.
But that's just sort of, I'm not a frequenter of the genre, though, so I really can't comment too much on it. But the Talk to Me kind of fell in that category of that year. I'm just kind of like, oh, these all just seem kind of like alike. I don't know.
Yeah. I will agree with you there.
But for my follow-up, this made me want to dive back into a YA trilogy series that I did. I was definitely more into the books and into the movies, and certainly was very critical of the book to movie like adaptation when I was younger was the Maze Runner books. Those are my sort of logical next faves after the Hunger Game books. Is I was like, these ones didn't hit me, but I really liked the Maze Runner books.
See, I only read like the first maybe 2 or so.
The first 2, and the third one isn't good. It's as all the trilogies go, the third one, I remember, I think I stopped halfway through when I was like in middle school. I was like, this is lame. Like, I'm over this. But I loved the first one.
Did you read the Mortal Instruments as well?
I did not, but I'm familiar with them.
The runes and shit. I don't even remember what they were.
But yeah, watching this made me want to rewatch The Maze Runner to like I think I have a little bit more of that like remembrance of when I read it, because I definitely read that book a couple of times when I was younger. And the like direct movie to book comparison, I remember having a lot of thoughts on that when that happened.
Again, stacked cast.
Then what are you going to serve with your food and drink while you watch Divergent?
Honestly, this movie has like such straight edge vibes about it.
So real.
I think you should like make a smoothie and of your choice, of course. And like serve a veggie platter. Honestly, I want to know what your go. I don't want to know what faction you are. I want to know what your go-to veggie on the veggie platter is.
Yeah, that's so real. Like the what do they call, like crudité or whatever? Just like the pre-made, and it's got like celery, cherry tomatoes.
Yep, broccoli. Usually
broccoli. Which if you eat raw broccoli, like
fucked
a motherfucker, you're. What are you, a guinea pig?
Cracked.
Like, that's
literally cracked.
Carrots. That's my
carrots.
I'm the bog standard. I go for the carrot. There's usually a ranch dip.
Yep.
Like that just goes to me.
See, I'm not a carrot lady. Never really have been. I like the red pepper or the red bell peppers and the celery. Love celery.
See, I don't fuck with celery.
It's so good. It's just the perfect vehicle for so much ranch, dog.
Yeah, I guess I just feel that way about the carrot, because then the carrot actually tastes like something, whereas the celery is like nothing.
Girl, she's got a little peppery to her. Yeah, honestly, fair enough. It is 90% water. What about you?
I don't think that this is true, but there's like a myth, like an urban legend, I think, that if you drink apple juice before you go to bed, it like helps you lucid dream. Or,
like, they say that about blue cheese too.
Like helps you have more vivid dreams or something. So I feel like the whole thing of like being divergent is that you like can lucid dream during the simulation or whatever. I think you simulate some lucid dreaming, and you can just honestly pound some apple juice, or if you want to make it boozy, have like an apple teeny or something. But I think you just drink some apple juice, and then I was like, what would middle school me want while I watch this? And that is just loaded tater tots. I want tater tots, and I want melty American cheese and bits of bacon on them.
That's really good. That sounds so nice right now, actually.
Right? That's what I want while watching this shit ass movies. I want to gorge myself on apple juice and tater tots like the little baby I am.
Fair enough. What else could you want?
What are you gonna rate this out of 10? I'm gonna give it a 2.
2, yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. I gave it 1 star on Letterboxd, so 2 feels.
Like, honestly, it's redeeming only in the way that it's fun to watch because it's so bad.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing else really there for you.
And to like laugh at something that you find borderline nostalgic is also kind of fun. To also be like, true. I was kind of into this at some point, and that is embarrassing. Like, that's literally kind of a fun thing to revel in. But January, we will be, I'll tentatively announce that we will be closing out, well, not closing out, we will be beginning the closing out process of the Hunger Games series. I think
we're winding it down.
Try Mockingjay Part 1 next week, as we, speaking of third installments that leave something to be desired.
Yeah, truly.
But we're gonna talk about that, and then who's to say where the rest of the year and the future will take us. Please send us in movie suggestions if there's anything you would like us to talk about, or think we should watch, or think we should know about, or want to hear what our thoughts are. You can leave that in the comment section in Spotify. You can just like answer the Q&A, or you can DM us. You could leave a comment on any of our posts, any of that good stuff. Thank you to all of those who do send in suggestions. We keep them in a nice little list, and we love having that on standby. Thank you all for listening. Like I said earlier, if you want to check out our Patreon, we try to do 1 bonus episode a month, usually about something a little bit newer, like something that's in theaters right now. So you can check that out if you want to. And I think that's like sort of it for plugs. We're not really plugging shit lately, because I feel like everyone has been on sort of a social media like hiatus, us included. And
what the fuck do you do?
I haven't been posting. I haven't been swamp posting. I haven't been personal posting. It's just like we're boycotting everything. We're being told to boycott everything. If you But it's also like, how do you exist? But it's also like, I don't want to look at it. But it's also like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Shit is really weird. So if you feel like we're not engaging as much, like that.
We're still here. We're just here. We're not there.
But also, like, if you also feel like you're not engaging with as much, I would recommend, my recent strategy has just been like longer form content, stuff that you have to pay attention to for more than even, I set the bar for like 3 minutes. I'm like, if I'm going to engage with a piece of art or media, I have to give myself the space to pay attention to it for more than 3 minutes. That's the rule. And if it's less than 3 minutes, then, I mean, not like music, but you know what I mean? Or even music, like listen to an album, put on an album.
Yeah.
From
Let's get back to
YouTube. Listen to the whole thing, or like watch a whole movie. Just, I don't know, the scrolling west.
Go find like a really interesting and nichely specific video essay.
Right, or like a book even.
A book, yeah, I don't know. Email us.
A Wikipedia article. Yeah,
honestly, if you want to...
Write us an email.
Yeah, if you want to talk to us or engage, like, honestly, that is probably the best way to do it, at least for the current time being.
I mean, also, it's not that I don't check our DMs. I also do that for sure.
But sure, but you know.
I wanted to, not that anyone cares, but it has been a little radio silence from us on the socials, and it's just it's kind of like, what if anyone, like I've said in the past, if anyone has like recommendations on where you're finding community online, like maybe should we start a Substack? Like,
do we go back to Tumblr?
Are you guys on Substack? Like, should we do Tumblr? Like, just where are, like, more chill and not, like, dystopianly depressing places online to be? Because, like, we're struggling to find,
grasping at straws here.
But anyways, not to end on that sort of lower note, but hopefully everyone is doing okay, you know, specifically our American friends. It's like a weird time, but, you know, what can we do? Literally nothing. So, or if you can do something, do it, but, you know.
Yeah,
don't be like Tris and don't feel bad if somebody kills themselves because you ignored them. Because what can you really do?
Yeah, really.
And we love y'all. Thank you for listening, and goodbye and good night.